you take a second to think about the most athletic players the NBA has ever seen, Amen Thompson needs to be somewhere on your list. Yes, he's only been in the league for a few years now, but it's safe to say the dude is an absolute monster, and he is doing things that are just genuinely not human at 6'7". At 6'7", you should not be by far the most athletic player in the league. That just should not be a thing. And it's even more mind-blowing when you realize he's not just a superhuman athlete, he's also one of the most well-rounded players in the league. We're talking about a guy who can guard 1 through 5, can grab rebounds, can finish with the best of them, is an elite playmaker, a great ball handler. The only thing the dude really can't do is shoot the ball very consistently, and he's working on that. It's gotten better since he got in the league, but good God, y'all already know what I'm getting at. We got a demigod build to chase on 2K. So let's just go ahead and get straight into it. The very first thing you guys are going to want to do on the Amen build is make your jersey number 1. You just have to. If you want the aura, you need to have the same jersey number. Then after that, we are going to go with a point guard, 6'7", 189 pounds, and then a 7'1" wingspan. And for those of you who are curious, yes, you could technically make this build all the way up to a small forward because, you can still get the 189 weight. I just made it a point guard because I think that's more realistic to Amen's position, and he's going to be playing a lot of that next year. Although, like I said, doesn't really matter. You can choose whichever position out of the 3 that you want. Getting on to these attributes, though, we are going to start off with a 60 close shot for really no reason in particular. It was just going to get forced up by other things. Then we are going with a 70 driving layup, so we can get things like, Zion's layup style, Ben Simmons floater, and I think that's pretty much it for 70 layup, but definitely some good value there. And then we are going with a 70 driving dunk. Now, before you, throw tomatoes at your screen, go to your comments and are like, 70 driving dunk for Amen Thompson. Listen, I know 70 for Amen is diabolical. That is ass. He is a way better dunker than that. But guess what? We have cap breakers in this game. And if you set the build up just right, the way I set it up, you will be able to cap break from a 70 to a 93 dunk with 5 cap breakers. A 93. And if you don't want 93, you only want 89, you can spend 4 cap breakers and you'll get 89 dunk. So yeah, it is insane value, but you need to set up everything how I do. For the standing dunk, you are going to want to go with a 41. Obviously, 40 is just fine, but we did have one attribute at the end of the build, and that's just where I threw it. And then post control, this is big. You need to go with a 60 post control on this build. And that seems like really weird value because you don't really get anything at a 60 post control other than, post fade phenom with mid range. But here is the thing. Going to a 60 post control is what enables us to cap break this dunk to a 93. If you have less than a 60 post, the cap breakers for dunk will be +3, +3, +2, +2, something like that. It is very different. I don't know why post control has so much of an effect on it, but I've labbed this for 4+ hours, and that is just what I found. Don't ask me how it makes any sense. I don't know. And for those of you who maybe don't believe me on that, I will show proof of it later in the video, so don't play around with it too much. Moving on to our shooting though, we ended up going with a 70 mid-range and a 78 3-ball. In my opinion, this is more than enough to shoot consistently this year. I have a 6'9" with a 78 3-ball. I use my +2 on set shot, and guess what? I shoot about 70% from 3. If I can do it, y'all can definitely do it. 78 3-ball, very good value this year. And then for a free throw, I did go with an 87, mainly because there wasn't really anything else to put the attributes on, and I figured, being a knockdown free throw shooter is always nice. For our playmaking, we do have one attribute I'm a little disappointed I couldn't get higher on this build, and that is pass accuracy. We had to go with a 71, which, don't get me wrong, is still great value in this game. You get silver dimer, you get bronze break starter. You have enough to make some pretty solid passes, especially when you have two-way, obviously, because that's +25, you'll get 96. But, if we could have everything and this was, a perfect world, Amen would probably have, I would probably say like an 82, because then we'd get Cade Cunningham pass style, which is one of the best in the game. And I feel like that's, it more suits him. But either way, it's 2K, you have to sacrifice some things. Then for the ball handle, we went with an 81 for pretty much all of the good 6'5" to 6'9" dribble moves. Yes, we do miss out on, Booker at 85, which kind of sucks, but it's not that bad. We still get silver handles for days. We can still move pretty well with the ball. And then we have a 75 speed with ball for the Zach LaVine dribble style. After the playmaking though, we got to talk about the defense. And by far, this is what I'm most proud of on this build. We went with a 61 interior, a 94 perimeter, so we can later cap break this to a 99 and get Legend Off-Ball Menace, Legend Challenger, Legend Off-Ball Pest. We can get a bunch of different Legend badges. Then we went with an 85 steal for Gold Interceptor. And in my opinion, guys, there is no reason to go above 85 steal. Maybe 94 if you wanted Hall of Fame Interceptor, but it's hard to justify in this game because Glove provides no value. So in my opinion, 85 is great for getting lanes, and you can +2 it to Legend if you want, or +1 it to Hall of Fame. Then for our block, we went with a 73. Now you might be looking at interior and block right now like, what the actual hell is this guy doing? The reason for this is we can spend 2 cap breakers on our interior defense to get it to a 70, and then 1 cap breaker is going to bring our block from a 73 to a 78, getting us Silver High Flying Denier, and then also Bronze Paint Patroller. So that is insane value right there. But then later on, we can also put 2 more cap breakers on block and then get it to an 86, which as you guys know, at 84, you get Silver Paint Patroller. So insane value here. Very insane value. And speaking of insane value, we went with a 70 O board and an 80 D board on this build. That way we get both Silver Box Out Beast and Silver Rebound Chaser. And once again, with the cap breakers, later down the road, you can put 2 on D board and get it to an 85 for Gold Box Out Beast, which once again, pretty goddamn good. For the physicals, here's the reason we saved quite a few attributes in some other areas. We went with a 90 speed, 90 agility, 73 strength, and an 80 vertical. In my opinion, you can't make an Amen Thompson build without being an absolute athletic freak. Which, by the way, when you go ahead and create the build, you get a ball snatching lockdown. Listen, I love the lockdown name, but ball snatching, I mean, that sounds a little crazy, but I guess we'll run with it. And as you guys know, I have this build fully maxed out already because I'm not one of those YouTubers who makes build videos on things I've never used and then just calls them insane. Trust me, if I'm making a build, it's because I believe in it. Which, speaking of believing things, I hope y'all believe me when I said what I said about the cap breakers, because it's crazy. We have a 93 dunk with 5 cap breakers, as I said before, and the block, as I mentioned, +5 on 1 cap breaker, and then later down the road, we cap break it twice, and then cap break interior twice, and just like that, we'll have our Silver Paint Patroller. Even the rebound, as I said, +3, +2, you're going to get Gold Box Out Beast, very good value. Now, when I do run out of everything to cap break on this build, like interior and block, because it's not going to take that long to get, 3 for perimeter, and then 2 for interior, 2 more for block, I'm going to spend them on vertical, because being able to get to a 90 vert, if you guys don't already know, vert is the main thing that helps you get jump contests in this game in addition to block. And also, I mean, it helps you snag rebounds. So just imagine this build at its full potential. 90 vert, 85 board, 86 block. Like, holy shit, man. Or, if you don't want to go that route, you can easily put them into ball handle and then get an 86 ball handle down the road. Although, I don't really think that's that much better than an 81, so I'm not going to do that personally, but if you're someone who plays a lot and has way more cap breakers than I do, you have those options. Now, I am going to get into what to use your max +1s and max +2s on, but we need to head back to the builder real quick, because I need to quickly show you guys what I was talking about with the 60 post control earlier. If we lower this to a 41 and we put the 2 attributes into 3 ball, we're going to make the build, and you guys are going to see, we get the same name, right? We get the ball snatching lockdown. So what's actually different about this build? Isn't it just a better version with the 83 ball? Well, no, it's actually not, because on this version of the build, pretty much all the high value cap breakers go from dunk to playmaking. We actually only get +3, +3, +3, and then +2, +2, which if you guys do the math, that's only an 83 dunk. We won't even be able to get contacts on this build. And if you look at our block and interior defense, I mean, our interior stays the same, but our block cap breakers get significantly worse. How a 60 post control affects that, I have no idea. I really don't. The only thing I can think of is technically it's kind of also a playmaking attribute, so maybe the game thinks since you have 4 kind of high playmaking attributes and not that high finishing attributes, you get more finishing. I don't know. It genuinely baffles me, Because how does that affect block? We didn't change anything defensively. Or, I mean, for that matter, we didn't change our vert. So how the hell does our block go from +5 to +2? Listen, I don't know, boys. I'm just here. I'm really just here. Anywho, though, going back over to our main build, y'all are going to notice I'm not fully maxed out on my badges yet, but we can still go over the max +1s and 2s because I have most of the badges that we need, which you guys are going to see right here. Here's everything I am currently using. You are going to notice pretty quickly, I'm actually not boosting anything to legend other than posterizer in my finishing specialization because, I mean, if I show you guys my finishing badges, we don't have a lot of options, all right? We really don't. Maybe I could, boost wizard in this other slot once we get to Hall of Fame. That's something. But either way, yeah, we don't have much to work with. That's pretty much the no-brainer choice. But as for the rest of these, the reason I don't have anything like On-Ball Menace or Challenger being boosted, there's really no point because I'm going to get the 3 cap breakers for 99 per M very soon, and I don't really feel like wasting any slots for that. What I did feel like using slots for were things like Gold Rebound Chaser and Gold Box Out Beast. That way we can amplify our rebounding by quite a bit. And then, Lightning Launch, High Flying Denier. Insane value with these badges. And by the way, you can't even get High Flying Denier Gold naturally on a 6-7, even if you max out the block. So I just thought that was great value as well. And then Gold Lightning Launch. Best value for this badge in the game, actually. Going from Silver to Gold is about a 5% jump. Gold to Hall of Fame doesn't really do anything. And then obviously for a movable Enforcer, here's the one where I maybe would switch it out for Paint Patroller. I was kind of like on the fence between both, but I just think a movable is going to be a little bit better in combination with, Hall of Fame / Legend On-Ball Menace. And of course, Hall of Fame Set Shot Specialist, an absolute no-brainer. In my opinion, and pretty much everybody else's opinion, it's the best tier 1 to max +2 in the game. However, I would consider using Interceptor in this slot and then moving Set Shot into the slot Rebound Chasers in right now because Gold Set Shot's still really good, and then Legend Interceptor. I mean, bro, Legend On-Ball Menace, Legend Interceptor, that combo is just disgusting. That is absolutely crazy with the fact that you also have Legend Posterizer. That being said though, boys, that is pretty much going to be everything that I have for today's build. If you guys did enjoy it, I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, as well as left a like and a comment letting me know what you thought. As I mentioned before, I spent a lot of time in the builder on this Amen build. 2K, please let us see our cap breakers in the builder next time. Anyways, it's been Gravely. Peace.